Oh, cool. Can't believe that worked. Fantastic. Oh, cool. Can't believe that worked. Fantastic. That all seems to be working.
What organization do we work for? Are we all of a certain nationality?
Nominally warrant officers slash mercenaries for the United States.
Okay, but we could be from other places.
Yeah, well, yeah, totally.
Cool.
I've not finalized the rules for it yet in the subsystem I'm working on for running future games up in this like setting type whatever. But I have a subset of skills and such in play that's supposed to represent like theaters you have operated in or originated from, and that has subtle effects on like what you can do on the battlefield. Like it'll actually influence languages of other people that you understand, for example.
Cool.
And where are we operating on this mission?
In this particular mission, you're going to be operating on a small island off the coast of Cuba.
Ooh.
We're typing, and now they're not. Oh, there it is. Yes, while we're waiting, do you two want to give me some test rolls on RPG sessions?
I would love to. Give me a minute to get on there.
Can hear you.
Aces. Sorry about that. Okay, let's see. Let's get the RPG sessions up and running. Because the computer decided that Wi-Fi connections were squares. That's always fun. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean for this to be quite the level of nonsense it's reached.
It's cool, it's cool. You're here now. We can get started.
I think if I don't pick a character on RPG now, you can't actually do a roll. Unless you're the GM.
You should be able to just by clicking dice in the dice roller.
Yeah, but then there's no actual like roll button.
Oh. Alright, give me a second. I know how to resolve that, I believe.
Okay, I think I should be on at least. How do I roll in RPG sessions?
So I believe they had the right of it. You, unless you have like a character attached to the game, you can't actually roll on the game thing for RPG sessions. So just click the logo in the bottom left, and then, or in the top left, I should say. And then whenever you have to roll dice, just roll up your pool, type the description, hit roll dice. And then it should give you a link that you can copy and paste.
You could... Oh, no, wait. Maybe they fix that, though. I was going to think, like, you could try and attach this game table to, like, one of the voice channel or text channels we've got. And then in the text channel, we could type .r and, like, it'll let you roll. But,
Pretty sure you could do that, but I don't have the permissions to finagle with all of that.
Didn't work. Let's see. .r, y to y. No, that's not working. Okay, so we're gonna have to go in dice tab and to roll dice.
You roll fine, I think.
Am I?
Yeah, I can, but I'm the GM, so that doesn't surprise me.
Just
Uh,
pick a character
Yeah,
and then ignore it.
that works too. Yeah, if you already have like a character on RPG sessions or just a test character or whatever.
Because I can, yeah, I could do that.
My roll?
bring a character and
So I can just quickly fix some things. Clone.
Post that there so you all have access to it.
Should we give these characters names,
It's up to you.
or are we going by our code names?
I will be using codenames. But I deliberately left like personalities and actual names unattended. So if you want to give them names, feel free, but I'll be going by the code names.
okay, sorry, I'm still trying to figure this one out. Being a bit of a fascist. Okay, let's go to the game table. I've joined. Let's see if I can roll dice now. Okay, so how do you roll dice on RPG sessions? I apologize for.
It should be just click the dice symbols, like the actual symbols of the physical dice, and then hit roll dice once you've assembled your pool.
Am I missing something here?
Yeah, if you haven't picked a character or you're a GM, it doesn't give you like the roll dice button. Yet it lets you
there we
pick
go.
them. Yeah.
There we go. Character's unofficial name is Testy Test.
Fine.
Okay, copying link, and we're gonna get to. Oh, I see the map. separate next to the whole thing.
All right, so that's Clockwork and Sandsilt we have.
Done. Like stop. Done.
Yep,
My apologies.
you're good. Just there's only 2 characters in the dice roll, and we have 3 other people in the call, so.
Well, I had to make a character, so just a moment.
Gotcha. Okay.
Quick question. Do you have a link to the character sheets or no?
Yes, scroll up in the same channel where you found the map. Scroll up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Which ones have been taken?
I'm gonna do Brawling Grizzly.
I've got Sniper Spider.
I just gotta check and see this guy over here. Interesting. Not quite my style. Hyper Spider and so I'm gonna take it. Let's try Sneaking Snake. I'm gonna put that link in. Is that gonna be that individual or Praying Dingo? Praying Dingo. What the?
I made a character, but I'm not sure how to link them to this game. I've never used RPG sessions before.
You're good. So once you're in the actual table, there should be a select character button on the left side. Then just scroll down to that character that you made, and then hit the check mark.
With the Morat has.
Excellent.
I think I'm going to go with. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I think I'm going to go with the. I'm going to go with Praying Dingo.
Okay. And then we'll close out the tabs for the other characters.
I've got my character selected, but I'm still not getting the roll dice button.
We have to like click the actual dice icons, the colored dice faces, and it builds them up into like a roll. And then it gives, I think, then it gives you the button.
I've done that. Still do not have the roll dice button that shows up.
You gotta click on the character, make sure it's blue. When you click the character's name.
Oh yeah, you have to. Okay, I see. Yeah, you have to highlight them.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. I've not used RPG sessions before either, so. All right then. I believe that's everything, and everybody is ready to go then. So sound off if you still have something to take care of. Right. Perfect silence. Good to go. So two things of note that's going to be different from normal Genesys that'll be in play during this. Outside of the obvious, this is going to be like kind of like a hex crawl, but it's like a stealth hex crawl instead of a normal hex crawl. So I will be rolling on tables in the background to see if you guys run into things like frogs or mines. The two major things of note is that I will actually be actively tracking ammunition It's still kind of loose ammunition, but I won't be like spending threats to make you run out of ammo. You just have a limited amount of ammo for your equipment. Anytime.
For these guns.
Yep, for these guns.
You
Each
need to
person.
picture me flexing at the time. It's important. Okay.
If you'll notice, each of your if you have a character sheet that has a gun on it, it'll say in like the notes for the weapons, it'll be like ammo. It'll list the ammo type, and it'll say reload 5. Once you use that weapon that many times, you have to spend a prepare, maneuver, or action, or whichever it is, to reload the weapon. And then you'll have an ammo count of like how many loads of ammo you have for that weapon. And then obviously, because this is Metal Gear inspired, you can find additional weapons and ammunition as you like take down guards and that sort of thing. And then of course you also have a bunch of extra gear in your gear stuff, like things like painkillers or lockpicks, that sort of thing. I made sure that everybody has a sub-vocal mic because I've had more than one game of Star Wars where people did not have comlinks. So no matter what, you guys should be able to talk to each other.
Ooh. Ooh.
So that's the first major thing, is that ammo is actively tracked, and you'll have to, if you run out of ammo, you'll have to find extra ammo if you want to use the weapon. The other thing is I'm going to be starting with no story points in the Game Master's pool. But as you guys alert adversary groups, I will get dark story points to represent that they are becoming aware of your presence. But as they are eliminated, I will, if I still have dark story points, they will be removed from my side of the pool. Everybody understand that?
Yep. Oh.
Yep, sounds good.
Okay. So yeah, those are the two major things. With that being said, we can get started. So, I've posted a map in the public game chat thing on the server. It's a map of Cuba. To the east of the Isle de Juventud, however that's pronounced, there's a red X. That is the exact location of the place you all will be going on this particular mission. There is a real island off the coast of Cuba there, and it is really tiny, and I was like, that is perfect for my purposes. So, with that being said, it is currently April 16th. At the time of this briefing, it is currently April 16th, 1961, at about 16:15 p.m. Military time, which is about 4, I think. Yeah, it's about 4:15 p.m.
Yeah.
You know that the mission, you have recently been volunteered or otherwise signed up for a mission known as Operation Splinter Tip. The theater is going to be the island of the Cayo Travesa in the Gulf of Batabano, off of the southeastern coast of Cuba. As far as weather and similar anomalies are concerned, sunset is expected to be at about 20:15 p.m. military time, and sunrise is expected to be at 7:15 a.m. military time. The weather is expected to be sunny with lows in the 70s and highs in the 90s, including going into the night just slightly lower or slightly higher, depending. So, you are being sent in because the US is about to engage in other operations in this particular theater due to recent events in Cuba. And satellite photos have picked up strange activity on this island. they've picked up increased boat traffic going to and from the mainland Cuba to this island, to the point where there's actually like a dock set up on the northwestern side of the island, oriented towards the mainland. So your mission objectives at the start of this mission are twofold. You are to verify the purpose and function of the dock, and verify if there's any strategic or military value or presence on the island. Any further mission objectives may become available as you complete your current mission objectives. I'm going to go ahead and list those for you all right now.
And I set up the character, so I should be able to roll on stats and all that jazz now.
With that said, you're going to be infiltrating. After a certain point, you're going to be boated out to that particular space. At a certain point, because U.S. Coastal Services cannot approach that closely for obvious reasons, you're going to be escorted basically underwater by frogmen to the southeastern side of the island, where they're going to deploy, set up camp, and basically act as like a withdrawal point for you. But they're basically going to escort you to just off the shore of the island. At which point you're going to have to like swim the rest of the way. They're going to be waiting there at that same location should you need to exfiltrate early, but they're only going to be waiting there until about 1 a.m., at which point they have other objectives that's going to require them to move out from that space. That being said, there is also a secondary planned exfiltration at approximately 6:15 a.m. via a Huey at the southeast rendezvous point on the island. Total operating time is projected to be no more than 12 on-site mission hours. If you have the map up, point B, the yellow B in the south, on the northwestern coast of the island, is the dock that they wish you to check, and point Z on the southeastern tip of the island is the rendezvous point for the helicopter.
Wait, did you paste a map
I did.
of the island? Where?
It is in the private game prep channel.
Oh, there. Okay.
In the public one, I posted an overall tactical map of Cuba. In the private one,
Yeah.
I posted a tactical map of the actual island.
The other one didn't look like unread, so it didn't look like there was any new posts there. I don't know why. Anyway,
You could.
Operation Splinter Tip, huh?
Yep.
Splinter Tip reminds me. I had a tip of a spear break off between my ribs when I was deployed in the Okavango Delta. Worked its way out during my sister's bar mitzvah.
Did your parents remarry? That's quite the age gap.
Okay.
Right. Most of the terrain you're expected to go through is marshy overgrowth and pockets of really thick overgrowth or open freshwater ponds. There might be a couple of spaces where it's like just flat land to dirt with minor grass, but it's mostly a overgrowth, slightly waterlogged island, with the exception of the dock that they want you to investigate. You have 3 officer intel, basically people you can codec call give you information over the course of the mission. You have Major Tom, who is doing your mission control. And you have Park Ranger, who is doing your Op 4 and tactical information. And then you have Zookeeper, who is a local flora and fauna expert. They immediately warn you that you should beware of crocodiles. Any
know
questions?
crocs well. I grew up wrestling them in Louisiana.
Any questions before we get started?
Not
Just
at
to
all.
verify the objective. Our goal is simply to go in, take a look, and get out.
For the time being, yes. Further objectives may apply as information develops based on what you discover.
Okay, so find out what's going on, see what's happening, and ultimately deal with whatever disaster we come across.
Correct.
Whatever disaster we cause.
We're not looking to cause a disaster, we're just looking to make sure nothing goes south. So, folks, since I'm going to be your medic, I'd like to, I guess I figure I'll ask you, what your specialties are.
I'll be your eyes and ears. Speaking of which, Major Tom, is there any high ground that I'm going to have access to on this island, or are we shit out of luck in that regard?
Negatory. Situation is foobar in that regard. The entire island is basically flat, swampy, waterlogged. Basically a minusculized version of Florida, if you want to call it that.
Oh no.
Hell on earth.
All right. Any other local fauna we should worry about?
Local Cuban crocodiles are the only major concern. They are not expecting any animal code name operatives like you in the area. Just beware of local wildlife. In theory, there shouldn't be that much heavy resistance at all, but like they said, there's a lot of increased traffic recently, and now there is actually a dock here. So,
Whatever it is, they'll be unprepared for me.
Let's hold on there, cowboy. I don't want you rushing in and getting yourself shot up 1,000 times. I'm good.
No rushing. I slink through the grass. They won't see it coming.
I guess there's a reason they assigned me to this mission.
You'll be best off if you would stop talking for a little while. You'd probably be harder to hear that way.
It's psychological.
Yeah, well, I'm going to need to see a shrink then, aren't I?
Okay, my specialty is in physical.
say again, you cut out.
Sorry?
My specialty is in physical trauma.
Mine too.
So, anyway, let's focus on getting over to this. Looks like we're going to be entering some nice little bit of marshland here. If I may be so bold, what point are we entering in terms of the tactile map? We have the space labeled frog. Are we going to be entering the closest green space to that?
Nope. You all will be swimming escorted from the triple arrows to the left of the map. Frog is where the frogmen will stop, and they will leave it to you to swim to shore, do what you need to do to get to the coast of the island. From there, it is up to you how you want to pursue things.
Okay. Yep, sorry.
With that said, before you all head out, I know somebody here has something like World War Vet that gives them extra favors per session, whichever. Yes. So you don't miss out on that. You now have the opportunity to call for that favor to pull whatever think you could. Basically, what would you like for that favor? Because you're not really going to get a chance to call for it in the middle of the op.
Give me a second to think. Can I get some C4?
Uh,
I'm not sure if that's too much of a favor or not.
wrong table. They could give you 1 Claymore Mine if that's what you want to spend it on.
Yeah, I do.
Right. Give me 1 second as I write that out for you so you can either fill it in on your sheet or hand it to somebody else.
Oh, what's about the size? Sorry. What's about the size of one of these hexes?
The bottom left corner of the map gives you the size key.
250 feet,
200.
which is 72
okay.
meters.
Okay, cool.
Ish.
And what are the colors? I don't see a key for that.
The darker green is more heavily overgrowth. Light green is more lightly overgrowth. If it's brown or blue, that's basically clear space. There's not going to be any like hindering terrain or anything like that in the way. If it's gray, that means it's basically urban. And then if it's dark blue, it's ocean.
So brown kind of means like bare dirt, not so much vegetation.
Correct.
Does it also kind of mean higher elevation?
Nope. Just barren dirt.
Okay. And then the light blue is not water?
It's freshwater pond, not necessarily really deep.
I'm gonna go grab a glass of water and I'm ready to go.
Fantastic.
You say it was 21 degrees out? You said 72 or something?
It ranges from 70 to 90.
Oh, okay.
There are those Claymore stats.
Okay, so I finally got the rest of the equipment. I remembered how to use Google Sheets effectively. Who else is in VGs?
What's up?
Who else has night vision goggles in our party?
I believe.
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Do you have NVG night vision goggles? Somebody else just asked that question.
I do not.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you?
Me, I do. Yeah.
Okay, what's everybody armed with? Let's get a clear stock of who's armed with what.
I have my sniper. Does it have a scope?
It does have a sight. It has a sight and a sling. It's listed in your gear.
I see. Got it.
Okay. The count pattern. Alright. Faces. And what about you, Brawling Grizzly?
What are you asking me?
I'm asking you what you're armed with, so I know what we're going in with.
What you see is what you get. Sorry, he doesn't have a gun. And he's
doesn't
just wearing. No, he just has like this camo vest, a backpack, night vision goggles, his painkillers, his subvocal mic, and zip ties. Ominous zip ties.
Yep.
All right.
Brawling Grizzly is the knockout and subdue with my fists character.
All right. Just give me a moment. I just have to step away for 1 second.
What time of day are we deploying?
By the time you get to the position marked frog on the map, it'll be exactly 6:15 p.m. That is more or less designated as the official mission start time.
All right. So I'm back.
You don't happen to have something between you and your mic, do you, Sandsilt?
What? Is there something wrong with it?
It's very muffly sounding to me.
Always happens. Checking my audio settings. Just give me a second.
But, like, the audio level is pretty good, like from a volume and gain and everything. It's just it feels like there's, I don't know, if you were using like a laptop mic, I would say, like, do you have like a cloth sitting on top of it or something?
No, I'm using a headset. It's
okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to take point, and
All right,
we'll
then.
infiltrate. We'll infiltrate as close as we can and move on from there. Hope you like swimming, people.
I had to swim 16 kilometers when we deployed north of Da Nang.
I never learned to swim. I didn't think it would be a useful military skill.
Nobody told me there would be water.
Cries in
You
Navy.
actually know how to swim. I'm sorry,
Wait.
I'm not very good at sticking to a joke.
All right, so you all shuffle out as Sniper Spider is handed their M18 Claymore. An hour, 2 hours later, you're being escorted by guys in like full black tactical swim webbing gear. They got oxygen tanks, they got harpoon guns. You think they have little pouches strapped to their chest that looks like they might contain like an Uzi or something. They got flippers. Intense, full-on actual frogmen. One of them is carrying like a huge backpack that you think contains like an inflatable raft. Basically, each of you is like paired / strapped to one, and they just swim you out to the point in question. And once they get there, they detach you from the space. And then they basically anchor themselves to that particular point on the map. And they reaffirm to you that they're going to be there until 1, at which point they have to move on. After nightfall, they're going to set up actually set up the boat that they brought with them, since it'll be less likely to be seen at that point. So they'll be able to give you covering fire on your withdrawal if it comes to that more easily than just trying to shoot from the waterline. But otherwise, from this point on, you all are on your own.
Okay, so let's head out to the point. We're at Point Frog. We're at Point Three Arrows on the map, just to be sure.
You are at Point Frog right now.
Point Frog. Okay, let's head directly south to the nearest green space.
All right. Everybody, give me an athletics check.
Yeah. What's the difficulty?
Difficulty 1. The waters are not roaring right now.
Focus.
1 success, 2 advantages. Do you think there are really frogs under that gear?
2 successes, 2 threats. I would suggest that given it's just a straightforward athletic event, my threats are just strain.
I'm cool with that.
Okay, and let's see. So looks like I'm running a little bit behind everybody.
Yeah, what's the result of the failure?
Ooh.
I do have 2 advantages,
Yep. I do see that.
so I'd like to use those to stay above water at least. But not
Okay,
drowning.
then you don't immediately start drowning.
Haste.
So basically, you have a bit of like a floundering moment. Like it becomes obvious that you've not necessarily swam before, let alone, or at the very least, you've never like open waters swam to shore and had to deal with that kind of situation before. So one of the frogmen gives you like temporary instructions on how to like not drown and how to efficiently swim for at least a few minutes. So eventually you're able to make it to shore, but it is very definitively going to be after everybody else makes it to shore.
Fair enough. That wasn't fun.
Well, while he is swimming in, I will turn to... Wait, what are our names?
Brawling grizzly.
Rolling Grizzly.
Brawling.
Brawling. Rolling. I kind of prefer rolling, personally. I just realized I left my claymore with one of the frogs. Shit.
Unfortunate.
Actually, can I have that be the threats, I suppose?
That you left the claymore with the frogs?
Yeah.
If you want to.
Yeah, I think it's... Yeah, let's do that.
Alright, so I will pull up to shore. And let's switch on these NVGs. Alright, so...
Is it still daylight though? Is it 6?
Yes.
Right?
Oh, it's still daylight? Never mind then.
I'm gonna use the early time though that I have to don terrain appropriate camouflage. I have a whole kit that lets me prepare different colored face paint and glue straw to my head. So then
Yeah, you can just
break up my outline. I'm going full ghillie, like I'm gonna try and blend in. I'm one with my nature.
Yeah, I'm just going to
part
set
of
up
this
my
land.
sling on my sniper while he's doing that and attach my suppressor.
All right.
Part of this mountain. I've been here 1,000 years.
Yeah. Anybody who has camo patterns and expanded camo patterns, you can just go ahead and assume that it's like kitted for marsh and overgrowth. So like you'll stand out if you decide I'm gonna camo up in urban. You won't stand out as much on the barren earth spaces, but you'll definitely blend in quite well on any green or green adjacent space.
You gotta lay down. You gotta feel the breath of the earth. You can hear Gaia breathing.
All right, let's get moving. I say
I worm forward.
I walk like a human towards. We're going to due south.
Due south. Let's go due south and due southwest. Right, because on the map that's where first point is listed. Or
Point Z is the absolute latest helicopter pickup. Point
okay.
B is the dock. You guys are marked by the Team Solid Ops logo.
Okay, so let's go head over to point B. Let's head into the first off, let's head to the nearest brown square to the east.
Right. Are you guys just walking normally or sneaking?
I would suggest that we sneak for the first bit.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely think being stealthy.
Okay, no. What's the
You walk like a human, you'll displace the calm of the nature. The land hears you. You need to walk without rhythm.
That's actually pretty good advice.
Legit 10 out of 10 if you keep that up the whole game. Alright. Let's see. Dice.
Okay. So what's difficulty?
No difficulty yet. That was
God.
the wrong button for me to roll.
Oh, boy, who got crit?
I hit the wrong button. I meant to roll the D100 that I had assembled, not roll crit.
All right, so success. What exactly is the brown space anyway?
It's just open, barren, wet, soppy dirt. It's like there's no trees, there's no tall grass, that's all.
Okay.
Right.
And it's done.
So you walk through some overgrown grass and basically regroup in the barren dirt patch on this little part of the isthmus approaching the mainland part of the island. From here, you have like no problem seeing to the north or south sides of the islands. It's not that big. Or you can probably still make out, at least vaguely make out the frogmen, but only because you know what to look for over there. There is overgrowth obscuring your vision to the rest of the docks, to the or the rest of the island to the northwest of you, and you're kind of shored up right there. At this point, including your swimming, gearing up your equipment, and then your initial move out, 20 minutes have passed. But moving across the island the rest of this time should be a piece of cake, unless you're like earthworm crawling the entire way.
Then let's just head towards A, I guess.
Keep on heading east. We're gonna head east. We're gonna go.
I would say hug the southern shore until we are due south of A, and then move directly north.
It's not a bad idea, in all honesty. Let's do that.
Alright. Everybody give me a difficulty 2 vigilance check, and then a difficulty 1 stealth check, plus whatever modifiers from your camo stuff if you have it.
You said 2
was
vigilance?
this?
Yeah, difficulty 2 vigilance, and then difficulty 1 stealth.
Okay, and then we gotta do difficulty 1 stealth check. Give me 2 seconds. Sorry about that. Bit of an off.
So my stealth was 1 success, 2 advantages, and my vigilance was 2 successes, 1 threat. Sorry.
You
Okay, so Vigilance was 2 successes, 2 threats. Stealth was no success, 1 threat.
Alright.
My vigilance was bad, but my stealth was good.
Alright, give me a second to look these over. Brawling Grizzly, since you have the most advantages on. I'm assuming that's your vigilance?
No, the vigilance was bad. It was 1 failure, 2 threat.
Gotcha. Okay. We'll come back to that then.
I have the most stealth advantages. I have 2.
No, I rolled 3 advantage on stealth. And 1 success.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I misunderstood.
Guys, I have to hit the head for a moment. So,
Alright. Are you back?
yeah, sorry about that. I have to hit the head, so I'll be out for a little bit. My apologies.
I'll type in the description next time I roll. I keep forgetting to.
That'll help. Alright. So, for Sniper Spider, what do you want to spend your 2 advantages on for sneaking?
I'm thinking.
Okay.
Well, I would like them to help me cover for Praying Dingo's failure somehow, but I don't just want to cancel his failure. So maybe I'm able to move more quickly than the other 2, or at least then. Yeah, I want to use mine on moving quickly.
Alright.
Thinking of it like a free maneuver.
Yeah, I got you. Alright. I will get to what your 1 threat is for vigilance for in a moment. For Praying Dingo, I will also get to what your 2 threats are in a moment. We'll just wait for Sandsilt to get back, and we'll get into how I think what happens is going to happen.
I think everybody at my work is taking vacation through most of next week, so I think I just get to sort of like work in peace with no one bothering me.
For me, that
always
would be an
nice.
opportunity to barely work.
That could be the subtext of what I said.
Work in peace at your own pace.
It's kind of like get a day's worth of work done in 3 hours and then go home.
Yeah.
And by go home, I mean go nowhere. But anyway.
Sorry, that was not my finest hour.
Right. Hopefully we can get to the rest of this without any more interruptions.
My apologies. Bye-bye.
So,
Damn.
with everybody's collective threats on the sneaking and vigilance. But particularly the failure on the vigilance for Brawling Grizzly. Sniper Spider, you are ahead of the group by a small amount. Basically like a maneuver band or whichever. When you all suffer one strain of hearing the audible click of Brawling Grizzly step on but not trigger a landmine. Your other two's collective vigilance are able to help cover Brawling Grizzly so they don't immediately trigger the landmine. But at the moment, Brawling Grizzly is standing on an active landmine. So everybody take a strain, and that is the position you all now find yourselves in.
Gaia's breath didn't tell me about this.
You know, those things are a lot easier to defuse when there's not somebody standing on top of them.
Well, you want me to move?
No, that's the last thing I want you to do right now.
I'm gonna carefully approach and crouch down in front of Brawling Grizzly and take a look at the landmine and try and get an assessment of it. Does it look like something that skullduggery would be the correct skill to disarm?
Give me an investigate. Difficulty 2.
Zero successes, 1 threat.
Alright. For whatever reason, you don't quite recognize like the make or model of this landmine. It's somehow one you haven't seen before. That being said, it doesn't look like a professionally made landmine or like one that was properly like metalwork forged or whatever. It's not quite homemade. Like it doesn't look like somebody wired a pressure switch to a pipe bomb. It looks like something in between those 2 points. So you think you could use skullduggery to disarm it. Demolitions would probably be the better skill to disarm it. Whichever route you try, you're going to be suffering a setback dice for, because you're not quite sure.
Let's see, would mechanics be a good one as well, or no?
You can try. Regardless of which route you try, it's going to take a setback dice.
Okay, so if I may volunteer to defuse it, because I'm rolling 4 green dice for mechanics.
Alright. Have at it.
Assist.
It is a difficulty 3 check.
Okay, the setback is black.
And,
Correct.
the blue.
Okay, rolling. Let's see what kind of disaster happens. Landmine's diffused at least, boys.
Oh, what was it you were saying, Jack School?
I was asking if I could assist on the roll.
Yeah, you can. Little late, so, but 2 successes.
Sorry, I should have waited.
I would feel like all those threats would be it takes a very long time.
So, yeah, that's how I would want to. You sound really quiet, Jack is cool.
Okay, sorry, I'll fix it.
And I have you at max on Discord. But yes, I'm gonna spend those 3 threats to make it to where like you disarm the mine, but you take a lot of time to do it. We'll say
How about now? How do I sound?
perfect, much better.
Okay, so how long would it take us? Like an hour or something?
Not that long. It's not that complex. We'll say it's like at the tail end of 15 minutes, you manage to disarm it.
Okay, don't move. Don't move. Keep still.
A
Yes, I know.
squad mate of mine stepped on a landmine. We brought him home in 2 buckets.
Yes,
Not
and if you
enough for
don't-
an open casket funeral.
If you don't want to end up in closed casket funeral, I advise that you quit worrying about that mosquito on your leg.
You're lucky that this is not a properly made landmine because they don't wait for you to step off.
No, they don't. We are very fortunate here. Okay, I think I got it. There's 50% chance you're gonna lose this leg if this goes south.
Let me get a little distance here.
Too late pulling it.
Oh no, Paul.
And give it 5 seconds. Okay, you'll live. Good. Not falling out. Let's go. And not do that again, please.
I pick up the landmine.
Right. It has
sure.
similar statistics to the Claymore.
Cool.
Hopefully it'll be useful.
Right. Gonna keep hugging that coast.
Maybe the coast is heavily mined, so maybe we should start going a bit more inland.
Agreed. Let's just keep just off the coast, but we don't want to move through any open areas as we approach. So make sure we're sticking to the forest.
Okay, so let's stick to the forest, and we're gonna go to. We're gonna keep going west. I mean east. Right, yes, east. We're gonna keep on heading east, and we're gonna head towards the quadruple dark green area next to that brown square.
Alright. Give me 1 second. Alright, and you said you're gonna keep heading east to this space?
Yes.
Alright.
We're gonna try. We should probably travel a little bit more up to the third space up to the space that's in between the 2 brown spaces. See if we can get a view of A from there.
So, circling around the top of that overgrowth, in between the...
Well, no, we're gonna head. We're gonna. You see? Do you see my highlight over there or no? You see? Okay, so we're gonna go diagonal 1 and 2. We're gonna go diagonally.
See here?
So from this, yes.
Okay.
So we're still in the undergrowth because we're getting pretty close to A and B, so we can at least investigate things from there.
Yep.
So we're what, 1,500 feet? Can we see anything, or I imagine we don't have the clearance?
At this point, you'll be able to start seeing stuff. Let me just update the elapsed time again real quick.
And I'm going to climb up into a tree. I assume there's trees around, right?
Yes. In the space you're in, yes, there are.
I'd like to climb up to as high up in a tree as I can get to improve my vantage point.
All right. Give me an athletics check, and then everybody give me a vigilance check. If you pass your athletics check, you can upgrade the ability of your vigilance check.
What difficulty?
Oh, 1 for all.
Athletics check rolling. Athletics check 2. 1 success, 2 advantages. I will turn those 2 advantages to a blue die. And I will pass that blue die over to, I guess we'll see whoever can use it.
I'm going to flip a story point to upgrade my athletics check.
Works for me.
Okay. And I will pass blue die to Sniper Spider, so that way they can have that for their athletics check as well.
Okay, I'm safely up the tree. Well, the difficulty for the vigilance is also 1.
Yep.
I'll take that. Their advantage isn't that bad.
How many advantages do I, or how many boosts am I picking up?
One, I believe.
Two successes, one advantage.
Right. So at base, you'll be able to make out the stuff that's in point A. You can't quite make out the stuff that's in point B, but that's because the stuff that's in point A is blocking your field of view.
Oh, wait, before you describe it, I wanted to ask, can I use my sight on my sniper to add anything to that roll?
It's not necessarily a scope, so no.
Okay, got it.
Da, da, da. Scroll over to my ops notes. Okay. You see a low, simple wire perimeter fence. And you see two, like, square, or not square, two rectangular, simple prefab placed buildings raised off the ground inside the perimeter fence. And then you see two, not quite pillboxes or bunkhouses, but kind of in that same vein. Two concrete guardhouses. They seem to be at opposite ends of the perimeter fence, standing next to like the gap in the fence. That would serve as like the entry point. And then you also see another building that looks like an actual concrete cemented bunker. It looks like it has two entrances to it.
Do I see any people?
Yes, most definitely. You see men wearing, they have like dark and tan skin. They all have black hair. They're wearing like junta fatigues, like that olive drab green, and they all have FAR, Cuban Revolutionary Armed Forces, like patches or armbands on their uniforms. So you know that these guys are from the Cuban military.
All right, I make my way down the tree. We've got a number of different buildings there. Fairly straightforward military encampment, guard posts, bunkers, bases, barracks, and it's occupied. Plenty of Cubans in there. So however we want to approach, it's not going to be easy to slip in. I recommend that we work on getting a closer vantage point. Ideally, we can determine what's in there without ever having to step foot inside.
Okay. Also, can I use my 3 advantages to on this vigilance check to make sure that we effectively have a route through mindless territory, like the territory that's not going to be a minefield?
Sure, that's fine with me.
That way we don't have to deal with that particular mess again.
For all 3 advantages, I'm totally fine with that. Also,
I just want Minesweeper.
I'm going to recover my strain with my 1 advantage.
Oh yeah, that's what I might do with. I failed my vigilance, but I had 2 advantage. I might do that.
All right.
so you also notice coming out of the south side of the camp at point A, you notice what looks like worn into the dirt tracks. They look like truck tracks. But not just like, oh hey, Ford pickup truck tracks. These look like heavy marsh off-roading thick rubber military truck tracks. Or military tire truck tracks. And they disappear into dense foliage here.
They may send out patrols periodically. We could ambush one of them and collect recon data via interrogation.
We're not supposed to be here at all, so I'd rather not get a patrol disappearing on our watch.
The fewer bodies we have to drop, the better.
I disagree.
understand. Okay. So let's see. We should head around. We're not gonna hit up the open territory. Open territory. How about a little bit north? We should set up that claymore mine on a rig to. Do we have a way to remotely detonate it?
Not immediately offhand.
I could shoot it.
That would work if you make the shot.
Okay, let's see. We're dealing with 250 feet between us.
You could probably also rig up a way to like call it with your subvocal mics to trigger it, but that's going to require mechanics checks.
All right, let's try a mechanics check.
That'll be a difficulty 4.
Bring it on. Whoops. I'll take the strain.
Right. So with that failure, you're not sure what it's going to take to. You're going to have to like sit there and examine it at some point, not in the middle of a mission, to figure out how you could possibly rig this up as a remote explosive.
All right. So it doesn't look like they have the capabilities to rig this up right now.
That would be correct.
I'm telling the party.
Ah.
It doesn't look like they have the capabilities to rig this up to explode right now, so we're gonna have to go with the you shoot it solution. Let's hang it up in a tree and have it ready as a distraction just in case.
Sounds good.
So let's hang it up in a tree about 3 squares north of us, so we can run back to this underbrush as needed.
All right. Who is running over there to set it up in a tree?
Oh,
I-
well. You
I
wanna go?
probably have the best stealth.
Okay. So
What's the difficulty?
Difficulty 2. And then, of course, whatever upgrades you get from your expanded camo stuff.
Success and a threat.
Right. There's a mine set up in that space. I'll say the threat is you try to be extra cautious so as to not really draw attention to that space. But it winds up that you take a little bit longer to do that.
Makes sense.
Right. What now? You eventually regroup back with the others.
all right, so the mine set up, that's good. We're gonna approach this depot. How far along do you think we can get? How close do you think we can get to it in order to take some good pictures? See if there's anything going on.
I think we need to take a long way around and
Along the
get into
northern, North Shore, right?
no, go south of the pond and then into the forested area to the southeast of A and B.
All right, not a bad idea. Let's hop
You
to
bring
it.
a camera?
You guys can just call CO when you want to update your mission objectives.
Yep.
Just call up Major Tom, be like, hey, there's a base here.
Yeah, I would definitely call Major Tom and share the same information with him that I did with these two. So,
Yep. This is Major Tom.
we've located a base on the island. Hard to tell anything particularly significant about it. It's occupied. There's a bunker there, a fortified bunker. Other than that, it appears to just be standard small military outpost. We're gonna move in closer, get some photographs.
All right, Roger. If you can, verify the contents of the bunker. don't forget, you also have to verify the integrity of the dock.
Is that B? Is the dock?
Yes. B is the dock.
Well, I think from that forest space, the one just to the southeast of them, we should be able to get a good look at both.
That'd be correct.
You're thinking about like looping south of the blue pond thing?
Correct.
Yeah. Let's keep our distance until we get closer. Deeper foliage up close.
I haven't seen any crocodiles yet, so that's good news.
Right. You all start moving.
Good news for the crocs.
1, 2, 3, 4. Everybody give me...
What time is sunset? Because now it's...
sunset is
7.
8:15.
So we're getting close.
Yep. Everybody give me a difficulty 2 vigilance check.
That's the roll into 52.
2 failures and a threat.
1 failure, 1 advantage.
All around failures.
So this is about to become Rainbow Sprinkles, isn't it?
Ending my inner garden.
This is totally going to become Operation Rainbow Sprinkles.
There we go.
Using all
Having-
that jazz.
Having problems with the current math sign, that's all. Right. So
No worries.
get to there. Get to there. Get to there. Another 10 minutes thereabout. So, you get to like a narrow point between like a pond and the actual ocean in the distance. You're crawling through the overbrush. The last rays of the sunlight are disappearing, and just as they disappear, and as you guys are crawling through, you hear the subtle hiss of crocodiles. And it sounds like there's more than one, and that they are generally next to you guys.
How next to us?
They're in the same 250 square feet of space as you guys.
That's not happy times. And if we start shooting now, they're totally going to be on alert.
We'll take him out without shooting.
Easy for you to say.
They shouldn't charge unless they're hungry.
Then let's avoid them. Where are the crocodiles?
They're just in the same space as the Solid Ops logo to represent you guys.
Okay, so they're in the same space as us.
Yeah. Because it's dark, you'll have to spend time investigating if you actually want to find them. Even if you click on your night vision goggles, and failures there could result in you just bumping into them.
Can I Kodak call our wildlife expert?
Yes, you totally can.
Wait, what's a codec?
Right, so you change the frequencies a little bit, and you hear this woman respond. Zookeeper here, local expert on flora and fauna.
Zookeeper, we found ourselves in a bit of a sticky situation surrounded by Cuban crocodiles. Just how aggressive are these little fellas?
Oh, Crocodilus rhombifiers. They are carnivorous hunters. More interestingly, they display pack hunting tactics, and they are highly aggressive despite their size, and they're considered potentially dangerous. They usually range about 7 to 7.5 feet in length, and they're roughly 2,000 2,400 to 2,900 ounces, or 150 to 180 pounds.
And what's the conservation status of these creatures?
I believe they are not endangered.
They're about to be.
Oh, actually, no. Take that back. They are actually critically endangered.
Okay.
Well, then we're gonna have to avoid them. I can't abide killing an endangered animal. I'm sorry.
Neither can I. What's the
Roll on Grizzly, if you have to wrestle one, do so, but please, leave it be. Grab the snout.
As a wildlife and plant life expert, I appreciate your discretion.
My childhood pet was a crocodile I nursed from a pup.
How do you nurse a crocodile exactly?
I am pretty sure half of this is just nonsense that goes out.
It's a shit. Coequialism. It's a coequialism.
I think I've made my point.
It was malnourished. I had to give it a blood transfusion.
Come on, buddy. Come on. No, don't.
Okay, you're right. No, you're right. Let's just keep moving.
Yeah.
Don't ask about the blood transfusion.
So, how do you want to proceed?
Quietly and not getting eaten by crocodile.
Alright. You could all make individual stealth checks, or you can treat it as a singular assisted stealth check to where whoever has like the best stats makes the roll, being assisted by everybody else. And if everybody else's ranks in the skill or stats in the skill doesn't really improve the best person's roll, then they'll just give that person boost. But because it's one person leading you all as a stealth, I'm going to give you a setback dice as well.
That sounds more advantageous.
Yeah, let's do the one that gives us. Let's do the one that one person makes the move. Because I'm pretty sure Sniper Spider here is very good at stealth.
Follow close. I imagine that they're just going to give me boosts then, right?
Yeah, I don't have anything trained stealth.
Yeah, they have no ranks in stealth, and then if their agility is...
I have ranks in stealth. Right?
Do you?
Yeah, 2.
Oh.
What's the difficulty?
Difficulty... It'll be difficulty 2. The sun has gone
You
down.
would have to have 3 ranks in stealth for it to matter, so...
Yeah, I know. I think me and Sniper are actually about the same result. So I'll help.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah. So it's 2 boosts and then the setback because it's a group stealth.
Yep, I just made the roll. 0 successes, 2 advantages.
Alright, how do you want to spend those 2 advantages?
Well, what's the result of the failure?
You can definitely tell that the crocodiles are going to get audibly louder. Like, you're borderline egging them on as you're trying to sneak around them because you're not quite aware of where they're at, so you can't really keep your distance and give them wide berths. You'll be able to get through the space without actually, like, suddenly getting attacked by one. Since it's just net 0 successes rather than actual failures. But noise has audibly been generated in this space. Like, you got like a chorus of crocodiles hissing over here.
These crocs need discipline.
No. Do not fight the crocodiles.
I'd like to use those 2 advantages
A
to
float of crocodiles.
give
That's the term.
each of them assistance. Well, would we rather move forward or lay low and sort of recoup here?
You mean basically make it so that the crocodiles... We stop here, make it so so we're not making enough noise to attract crocodiles.
Right. Yeah, pretty much.
Maybe we should lay low. We've attracted a good bit of aggression from them. Let's not fulfill that to its inevitable end.
So then I would like to use each boost to give, or each advantage to give each of them a boost to get up into a tree, and I'll make the roll on my own.
Okay. Everybody make athletics checks then. It's difficulty 2.
Alex checks difficulty 2, and we get a boost. Do we get a boost die or?
A boost die, yeah.
Okay, aces.
Also, while they are on water, they are called a float. While they are on land, they are called a bask.
Makes sense. Crocodiles are actually fairly interesting creatures, as well as the alligators. The whole family, in all honesty. Gabriels are a neat one. They have long feet and most stuff, and they live in primarily India, Pakistan, all that jazz.
All right, I got my 2 comrades up into the trees. I had no luck.
Yep, I can see that. I'm just gonna go ahead and spend your advantage so that you don't trigger more crocodiles or get bit by them.
I throw Sniper Spider into the tree. I don't know.
And I offer him.
Yeah, how about I reach up with my rifle, and Brawling Grizzly grabs it and heaves me up.
Yeah, I can let him spend his 2 advantages for that.
Oh, quick check. All the characters are dudes?
Sniper
No.
Spider is a chick.
Okay. That's why I wanted to check. So, is she able to get up in the tree now, or?
Yeah, with Brawling Grizzly's help, yes.
Aces.
All right, more lost time here, I guess, while I wait for the crocodiles. But can I use some of this time to observe the base, see if we can pick up any more info?
Try to get, like, patrols and all that jazz sorted out.
Yeah, at least we have a clear line of sight. It's only ponds and grass in between us and the base.
Correct. So, because you don't have night vision goggles, normally you'd have a bit of problem with that. However,
Are we
from
in the same
here...
tree? Are we in the same tree?
Yeah, you guys are next to each other. I was going to say, obviously you can hand that back and forth. What I was going to say was, however, because of the way the base is, you can now confirm that there is electricity at the base, because you can make out the electrical lighting from here.
Oh, okay, that works too.
Yeah. Yeah.
That should give us an advantage. As long as we stay in the dark, their eyes will adjust to the light.
Yep. I like this so far. Minus our friends down there.
We should domesticate the crocs and deploy them against the Cubans.
No! Animals are a terrible idea in warfare. Even stuff like elephants. First off, you can't control them. Second off, it's cruel and unnecessary.
Get the zookeeper on the line. The Australians lost a whole war against some emu.
I don't believe you. And we're going to continue the mission, ignoring that was said. What kind of nation loses a war to birds?
A nation of
Australia.
criminals.
Okay. So, how's Croc
Doesn't get-
City doing right now?
Out of character, that's a real thing. That is.
Yeah, no.
Okay, just checking. Okay.
It's the 60s, though, I believe. It's the 80s.
Yeah, no one would believe you. Yes, would believe me.
Yeah.
Alright, let's see. Oh, thankfully, it's not long after. It's another 10 minutes, but the crocodiles eventually like de-agitate and start swimming away because they're no longer basking in sunlight. They kind of swim away off into the water pond. But you notice that there are people with flashlights coming out of point A at this point. They basically seem to be walking to like the far side of the pond and just flashing their flashlights onto the pond itself.
How exactly are you doing that? I have my NVGs, so I'm gonna look with my NVGs at the edge of the pond itself. Are the crocodiles moving in closer or no?
Not really moving in closer specifically towards those guys. They're just moving into the pond in general.
All right. So, what are these people doing?
Do you want to spend like a destiny point to know that, or do you want to get a roll a check of some sort to figure that out?
If I may be so bold, may I check?
What skill do you want to use for that?
Let's see. I could use vigilance for this, or I mean, I don't think knowledge society would fit in on this. So either vigilance, survival, or vigilance or survival. You let me know which one. They're pretty much the same one.
I'd be down with vigilance.
Okay, so what difficulty would you want to give me? I'm using my NVGs.
Difficulty 2.
Difficulty 2. Okay. Yeah, and I get no penalties for darkness. So
Correct.
there we go. Do I want to flip a story point on this? No. Rolling. Well, there we go. I should have flipped a story point. Mistakes were made.
Thanks for me. Yeah, you're not quite sure why they're out here because they don't look like they're feeding the crocodiles. If you had to guess, it's probably because the crocodiles were just making a lot of noise, so they came to investigate.
Making sure that that it's just regular hissing and not them causing any sort of trouble or anybody.
Right.
Okay.
They're still hanging out at the shore, though. Do you want to wait for them to go back before you start moving, or do you want to go ahead and start moving?
Let's start moving while they're at the shore.
I agree with that.
Yeah, let's start moving while they're at the shore because then they'll be walking back and they won't be facing us.
Right. Because they're not facing flashlights like on your guys' space, but they are facing in your direction. It is going to be a stealth check.
Okay, do we want to do the stealth check again? Because at this point, if we fail, there's going to be gunfire involved. So
Yeah, let's do it. What's the roll?
it's stealth. Difficulty 2. There is one setback because it's the group stealth check, and then there's another setback because they have flashlights. But you also get a boost because it's nighttime.
And I have 2 boosts for them assisting me, or not on this one?
You do have 2 boosts for them assisting you.
I'm also going to flip a story point here.
Sure thing. Woohoo!
Yeah.
aces.
All right. With that much stealth for 40 minutes or until somebody does something that draws attention, you guys are basically going to be invisible. So that should be enough time for you to get to the one green overbrush spot you were trying to head to in the first place.
Yeah, let's get there.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Alright, that'll be 25 minutes there, which puts the current time at 9 exact, I believe.
Do we have anyone who speaks Spanish? Do we all speak Spanish?
Out of game, I can do conversational.
I'll say for the purposes of this one shot, if you actively sequester somebody away, and try to like interrogate them vocally and such like that. Between like codec calls with Major Tom or specifically with Park Rangers, since he does intel on Op4, you guys can figure out what they're saying.
Cool. Because I was gonna suggest, are we over in that space now? Did anything happen on the way?
Nope, you guys are fine along the way.
Tell me if this is too powerful for a story point. I'm fine if it is. But I was gonna say we're hiding out, trying to get a look, and a Cuban soldier comes up to piss on one of the trees nearby. He's by himself.
Just for a story point, yeah, I think that's a bit too powerful.
Okay, that's fair.
What if we create a distraction to attract his attention?
Do you have anything in mind?
I imitate
Attract-
nature's calls.
If we attract his attention, we might attract others, so that is an option we should not take too lightly. Right?
Yeah, it's a dumb idea.
My thought is...
Why would they send one guy?
My thought... It's going to be difficult to sneak into an electrified lighting base, guarded all around. I just don't see a way that, unless we can see something outside, that we're going to be able to get this information we need without putting ourselves in a great deal of risk. I think ideally we would find a way to isolate one of these soldiers and let Brawl and Grizzly go to work getting the information we need.
Alright, let's see. What... Let me look at my talents.
You also haven't taken a look at the docks yet.
Can we see all that from where we are?
Yes, you can.
All right, well, while he's looking over his talents, I'll make a vigilance to check out both areas, I guess.
Okay. It's difficulty 1. If you don't have night vision goggles, it's still going to be 1 setback. Just because of how dark it is, even though the place
with the
is lit.
electrified light? Okay.
Yeah, even with the electrified light. Because it's not like giant floodlights 50 feet up in the air. It's just like rigging lights attached to the sides of buildings.
Well, I hand you my goggles.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll take those. And could I get...
What do your elf eyes see?
Could I get a boost just for we are in position and our clock is going well, so we're not particularly time pressured? Can I have a boost for like just taking my time?
No, not necessarily for particularly time pressured purposes or whichever, but if you want to have the action take longer than it would normally take, yeah, I'd have no problems giving you a boost then.
I think given we still have 5 hours to extract, that's not out of the question. So yeah, I'll take a little longer to make this vigilance check.
Okay. Then yeah, go ahead and take the boost.
We've got time for tea.
0 success, 2 advantage.
Alright. With those 2 advantages, unless you want to spend them on something else, I will let you ask 2 questions about the docks. And then I will also let you ask 2 questions about the camp at Point Alpha.
I get a total of 4 questions?
Yes, but they have to be split between the 2 different points. And that's assuming you don't want to spend them on anything else.
Boats at the docks.
There are no boats at the dock currently.
Who is the docks?
How is
the docks?
Is there
Why is the docks?
a helicopter or other means of flight in, what is it called, Camp Alpha?
No, there's no helipad in Camp Alpha.
Do I see anyone who looks like an officer of some sort?
You do see that one of the doors leading into like the singular concrete building with 2 entrances looks a lot nicer than any of the other like prefabbed stuff in the entirety of the base. But you don't see any immediate standout officers.
All right. How far are we from the mainland? Is it visible?
I would say not right now. It wouldn't be because it's dark out.
Would it be during daytime?
I think it would. I'm not sure. But like barely, like very distant coastline if it was.
We're like really close to the water, but like no elevation, right?
Yeah.
So, is this? I think I know what island you're talking about. Looking on Google Maps. Cayo Traviso or something like that.
Yes.
Okay. That's 33 kilometers. That's over the horizon.
Okay.
The horizon
What
would
is
be, like, 14 kilometers away.
What is everyone's ethnicity?
In the group, or
Yeah. I'm asking my fellow players.
Difficult to figure out.
Dingo?
I had an idea and I blanked out.
1/16th Navajo American.
Let's not go there.
All right.
Okay, so let's see. We have an officer. You want one of us to disguise dress up as an officer?
I was thinking, yeah, if any of us can reasonably pass as a Cuban.
Actually, I think my character can, because I'm fairly dark-skinned and I have curly hair.
And you got good Spanish?
I have enough intelligence to fake good Spanish.
Let's not get carried away, but yes.
Yes. Yeah, no, he would probably have decent Spanish growing up in Arizona. So.
You still have one more question you can ask about the dock.
Oh, how does it look structurally? Does it look like it's in use, being kept up?
Yes. It's a concrete, so that's starter. It's freighter sized, and you can make out crane and track supports on the dock itself. So it's meant to carry no small amount of freight.
Now, why would they need a large-scale freight cargo operation on an island that's a quarter-mile long? And why exactly would there be no means for any soldiers to get off of this island?
You think there's something underground?
It would be difficult to build underground on an island like this given the marsh, but it's not out of the question.
All right. I guess it's time to find out and investigate a bit more. Let's get our officer knocked out. I'll dress up and see my way through.
Maybe instead of undercover as an officer, could you be a shipwrecked fisherman?
I don't know. It seems like it's military. I don't know. It seems like a military installation would not be welcoming to a shipwrecked fisherman. Because if they're doing something secret here, it'd probably be easy just to pull the trigger and feed the crocodiles.
I mean, depends on ethnicity, but you'd have to get over the hurdle of why is the shipwrecked fisherman what is the shipwrecked fisherman doing all the way out here first in the conversation.
That too is a consideration. Although shipwrecked fisherman is definitely easier disguised to me.
Right, that's my thought is, if we're trying to put you undercover as an officer, we have to get an officer in the first place. And at that point, mission accomplished.
Do you radio the dock specifications in?
Yeah.
Because that is actually one of your mission objectives.
Code call.
It's Major Tom. Go ahead.
Dock is intact, and it is more than just your typical fisherman's wharf. You are looking at a large-scale freight operation being constructed on this island. Now, Major Tom, you tell me, how often do small revolutionary governments recovering from a massive economic crisis have the time to spend enormous resources on freighting to an island 33 miles off the coast with no economic resources or population?
Airplane reconnaissance photos and the like was able to verify the increase in boat traffic to and from the island, which is why we sent you there in the first place. At the moment, since you confirmed that this is like a large-scale freight dock and that there is at least a military encampment on the island, there has to be something on the island that the camp is guarding, like maybe a vault or some documents or maybe some offshore personnel or something of the matter. Is the camp the only thing you've seen on the island, or have you seen any like tracks or anything else on the island anywhere?
Landmines and crocodiles.
Seen
And,
off-road
we-
vehicle tracks.
Yes.
Off-road vehicle tracks, leading where? Just further into the island? That would be a yes, out of character.
Yes. Yes.
In that case, you completed your primary mission objectives, and we're updating you with further instructions. You now have a secondary objective of verifying anything of import inside the encampment itself. But your other objective is to verify the full military strength or presence on the island, which will mean following those road tracks to see where they lead. Because if they're just a patrol route, then they'll just loop back onto the encampment. But if they lead somewhere else, then you need to check that out.
Okay, so, well, granted, we never expected this to be just take pictures together. Never is. We can't find an officer. Okay, let's go with flying shipwreck fisherman. All right. So.
Is there a generator that we can see that's providing power?
Not that you can see, but you're pretty certain there is one. You can probably hear it faintly humming from here.
We could always sneak through the grass close enough and then take out that generator, then be able to sneak inside the base.
The problem is, generator itself probably is pretty well guarded.
Couldn't hurt to take a look.
Let's go. Okay. So let's try to find a. Do we see a generator in any way, shape, or form as we go, or do we have to get? You know, let's get closer to the green square in between A and B, next to the brown square. So that way we're close enough we can actually see things.
Okay.
So that's 2 squares of movement.
Right here?
Yep.
Alright. I've also
do that?
updated the mission objectives in the open game chat, by the way.
Bases. Mission objectives have been updated. Okay, so what do we see now that we're closer? What are we able to determine? Are we able to get like a miniature map of the station itself?
I do have other miniature maps, but not of Encampment Alpha.
Okay.
But you know that there is one of the like concrete guardhouses next to one of the gaps in the fences that acts as an entrance here on this side of the camp at Alpha. And there is one guy in it. You can see there's a mirror of the same thing on the far opposite side of the camp.
Okay, so there's one guy in the guardhouse. Is he just hanging about? Not doing anything important?
He is awake, if that's what you're asking. But yeah, he's just generally on guard.
Okay.
These guards don't have Metal Gear Solid AI, do they?
Depends on what you plan to do.
Okay, so seeing this a bit closer, we see the guardhouses. Do you think we should still? Do you think we can still probably pull off the wrecked fisherman gambit. I'm not sure in all honesty.
I think it's worthwhile both as a distraction and as a potential way into the camp. If you can wash up as a wrecked fisherman on the dock, we can make our way in, search for a generator or intel.
All right, so I'm gonna hand the. Wait, Fui, are we? We're in Gillies?
I think it's just like standard camo.
But we're wearing camo uniforms.
The camo pattern armor is like standard camo fatigues and the like. If you have the expanded camo option stuff in your gear kit, that's probably borderline ghillie suit stuff.
Okay, so I don't have expanded camo. I have tack vest, which probably is gonna not work too well right now. I can't carry my med kit, painkillers, my shotgun, or goggles. All right, I'm gonna stash this stuff with you guys. I'm gonna swim on out to the dock, and after walking out there, we have to make sure this looks convincing. Brawling Grizzly.
You need a black eye or something?
Yeah.
Or do you mean you need to look malnourished and impoverished, which could take a few months?
Just give me a little bit of a beating. Try not to break anything.
You may want to give him a tip on exactly where to hurt to look good and feel fine.
I'm gonna use medicine.
This beating is going to be so gentle.
I'm gonna use medicine to guide this. I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm gonna use medicine to guide this. What's the difficulty?
Okay, so it'll be a difficulty 5 check, but it's not because it's like that difficult or whatever to do this. For every failure, that's a wound you are going to take. If you actually get net successes, you're still going to take 1 wound, and then every wound you have from this particular instance is going to be a boost on your attempt to convince them that you got crapped up in a storm.
All right, let's do this. Oh wow.
So what does that mean with a bunch of successes? He fails to look well beat up?
So he's still going to take 1 wound, and he's just going to get the 1 boost from that to look convincing.
Like he'll make a miscalculation, and I'll hit him, and it'll really hurt, but yet not even look that bad.
Yeah.
Whereas he wanted to look really bad, but not be that hurt.
Correct.
Yeah.
Wait, so with 4 successes, he did it wrong?
I think successes would help me get wounds where I want them. Like, would 4 successes be able to become 4 wounds? I know that this is a weird thing to do.
Yeah.
Wait.
Task failed successfully.
Failed success. So with 4 successes, I'll let you decide. I'll put it this way. I'll let you decide how many wounds you want to take from this instance. And then still stick
4.
with the every wound is how many boosts you'll get to try and convince them.
I'll take 4 wounds because we're living dangerously.
All right.
All right. I think we're good. Let's never do that again.
All right. Go ahead and suffer 2 strain with those setbacks.
I'm gonna go swim now.
Go rub some salt in your wound.
Yeah.
All right, well, while he goes... we've established he's not a very good swimmer, which is great. While he flounders about, should the 2 of us try and find a way in? Or I guess maybe wait till he washes up as a distraction?
Try and be really close to where he's going to be, though. So you should just try and get as close as safe to the edge of the camp.
It's up to you. From what you can see from here, there's 2 people that are just on guard out at the dock. There's 1 person on guard at each of the 2 entrances to the camp. And then there is a patrol of 3 people moving about the perimeter of the camp. But it's like, it's a patrol, and whilst it's not a big camp, it's not a small camp. But nobody's really gonna notice anything in a single engagement unless you start making loud noises. So combat or gunfire.
I'm definitely not going to do any of that. I just feel like we want to slink our way in once they're distracted by our washed-up comrade.
Yep.
Is there like a piece of wood or something that I can have, like driftwood or something that I can find on the shore to help make it a bit more convincing, and also make sure I don't drown? Wait, guys.
Say again?
Really, this mission would fail pretty badly if I were to drown in my end up.
No, since you're swimming, give me a difficulty 1 athletics check.
Alright.
Get a boost because you still remember your frogman lessons.
This is how you swim. Going down is bad, staying up is good. I can't believe I have to teach you this. Oh, wow. Yeah, I didn't remember much.
That will just make him all the more convincing.
I
Yeah,
love it. Failing so hard, it's actually coming off well.
go ahead and take an extra boost in addition to the boost from your wounds when you attempt to convince the 2 people on the docks that you're a washed-up fisherman.
All I have to do is pretend. I'm gonna shout to them. I'm gonna shout, "Ayúdame, por favor." That means help me, please.
Yep.
Very actually desperate, not big desperate this time, because I've actually managed to mess up swimming. I am a true landlubber. So, do they notice me?
Yeah, they notice you.
Between the screaming and the failing at swimming.
Pretty much. One of them does dive out to grab you and bring you ashore.
Good acting. I'm convinced.
So let's make our stealth checks to slip in, and what kind of boosts or anything do we get from his distraction?
Alright. Are you just gonna like try and like crouch roadie crawl through the gap in the fence? Or are you gonna try to climb over the fence? Or what?
Definitely going under.
Going under the fence. Okay. That'll take longer. But you'll get a boost because you're not directly engaging with like the line of sight vigilant space of a person in a guardhouse or whatever. Gain another boost because it's dark out and you're not approaching through a space where it's like there's vibrant light.
And what about from him distracting the camp?
Now he's distracting the 2 guys on the dock. He's not necessarily distracting the whole camp just yet.
Okay. So what's the difficulty?
Difficulty 2.
Grizzly, are you coming with me?
Oh yeah.
So then am I adding a boost and a setback for the joint stealth roll?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know I could actually click it like that.
Alright, I sneak us through smoothly.
Yep.
We slide under the fence and crawl our way towards the nearest building, lean up against the wall, peer around the corner. Everything is, you said it's raised, right?
There's 2 raised prefab buildings, which you guessed correctly are basically bunkhouse buildings. You can hear the AC from here. There's the 2 concrete guardhouses, and then there's like the 1 grounded actual concrete bunker with 2 different doors, one of which looks really, really nice. Before we get into that, I'm going to need a deception check from, or I'm going to need that deception check from Praying Dingo. It's going to be
Okay.
difficulty 3.
I get 5 boost.
Yeah, you get a lot of boost.
Because I was actually drowning. And I have 4 wounds. Okay, so I explained to them that my boat started taking on water. And the bilge pump decided it was on strike.
Hmm.
Oh. Okay.
Alright. So, they believe you.
Beautiful.
And I thank them, of course, for rescuing me. Because
How
I
do you want to
legitimately-
spend? How do you want to spend your 5 advantages? You can. I will let you spend them incrementally to basically have them like escort you up the chain of command past things of security if you want to.
That's what I will do. Last time if they can take me to doctor or medic who can patch me up a bit because I am actually hurt.
All right. Well,
And,
one advantage is going to have them radio you in, which is going to wind up one of them having to take you to the camp, where they're basically going to hand you off to the guardhouse guy. One more is going to have the guardhouse guy escort you the rest of the way into the camp, and Sniper Spider and Brawling Grizzly see this happening as they're doing their own sneaking stuff.
Okay, so as I'm being escorted, I'll talk cars with the guardhouse guard as he's taking me in, just to lighten the mood and make him feel a bit more at ease with me.
The third advantage will have them taking you to the nicer looking door attached to the bunkhouse, or not the bunkhouse, attached to the actual grounded bunker building. So you're pretty confident you're being taken to the officers' quarters or whichever.
Okay.
That leaves you 2 more advantages to do with whatever you want to.
Okay. And of course, as I'm being taken and handed off, I will thank the previous fellow and introduce myself to the next fellow. Trying to be, trying to appear thankful and respectful. Actually being respectful and trying to have some humor at this disaster I found myself in, because I don't have a boat, but I have my life. And 2 advantages. Let me a little bit think on that while the other 2 go about their operation.
Yep.
And just how far does our stealth check get us? I would love to head over towards the officers' building.
Yeah, so I was about to say, for now, you're basically in the camp. You're past the fence, you're in the camp. You can have yourselves, sequester yourselves up either under one of the bunkhouses or adjacent to the grounded bunker or whichever other building. From here, you can tell that the generator is inside the grounded bunker building, but it's not inside the side that the nice door leads to.
Do I have line of sight to the mine we set up?
You'll need to make a vigilance check.
Alright, I'll do that. Do I get any boost or anything for knowing exactly where I placed it?
You'll get a boost for knowing exactly where you placed it. Because you have the night vision goggles, you won't suffer any setbacks from it being dark out. It will be a difficulty 4 check. If investigate is a better dice pool for you in this instance, you can use that instead.
Too late. I failed, but I had 3 advantages. Could I notice some other advantageous info in the camp that will assist us sneaking to the officers' place?
Sure. Feel free to ask me 3 questions about the camp.
Alright, how difficult would it be for us to get to the officers' building?
You would literally just have to skirt and circle around the side of the thing you're on right now. Just getting to the door won't require a stealth check because the stealth you had to get into the camp and get up next to a building, as far as I'm concerned, will cover that. But if you are trying to take the time to sneak into it, or like through that door into that office, you'll need another stealth check. But that'll also cover like sneaking into that room and not just trying to not be discovered while you're on the outside, like dealing with any locks or anything like that.
What about the generator? Same question.
You already know that it's on the other side of the bunkhouse. You're pretty confident that the the grounded bunker is basically like two different rooms, and that one of them is like the officer's office, and the other one is like the generator room and probably a storehouse of some kind. So it's basically the same amount of difficulty. It won't cost you any stealth to get to the doorway, but it will cost you stealth to get through the doorway.
And I guess my last question is just, have we noticed anything else that would help us, that would be information directly relevant to our mission objectives?
You can now make out parked, since you're on this side of the base instead of the opposite side of the base, and you're inside the base itself, you can make out the truck that parked next to the grounded bunker that you think is the truck responsible for the tracks that you radioed in. It's a really large truck, and it doesn't have like raised sides or anything. Like, it's just a completely large flatbed at the back with like hooks and tackle stuff to like tie down tether stuff to whatever would be loaded on the back of the truck to keep it secured along the entire edge of the flatbed. And it's definitely like a freight scale flatbed on the back of this military truck. It's not like just a normal, oh hey, we can fit like 8 dudes in the back here kind of flatbed.
Okay. Neat.
Grizz, what do you think? What's the plan?
We need to stick close to make sure we can support. Somewhere we can hear. They can give out a signal. Then we extract.
I say we extract on that truck. Hop on the truck, hide ourselves in some boxes, let it take us right to our destination.
But we need to get Sniper. Oh wait, do I have the
Dingo. Praying Dingo.
Yeah, Dingo.
Is on.
Dingo.
We need to extract Dingo.
Worst for worst, I'll be able to find my own way off.
I don't think they're gonna let you out of their sight.
We'll figure something out. But the officer is on. So what's happening now with me, since that's all resolved?
Alright, so with you. So you're escorted inside to the officer's bunk, and that's literally what it is. It's just an officer's bunk. There's like a bookshelf. It's not that large of a room. It's the size of like a construction office. Or like an on-site construction crew leader's office. There's a bookshelf at the back, but it has like not thick manila folders, but like thick manila, like plastic looking binders. Like some of them are like manila tan colored, some of them are like black, some of them are like this bluish gray, but like the shelf is just filled with them. You think you can make out like a couple of regular books in there too, like revolutionaries handbooks or military procedure handbooks type stuff. Nothing too major. There's a desk in front of that with a chair. There's a man sitting there wearing a nicer looking RAF uniform. And they have like a red beret cap instead of a normal green cap or whichever. there's 2 chairs in front of the desk for other people to sit, and then you can see like an area off to the side where there's like a stove that hooks up into the ceiling. There's a bunk bed, or not a bunk bed. There's like a regular bed. There's like a foot locker to store things at, and then there's like a couple of shelves off to the side of that where you can see like some extra gear and some extra clothes stored.
Okay.
The officer in question dismisses the guy who handed you in and tells him to return to his post. And he starts asking you about, basically asking you to relay your story and stuff like that. The moment he starts asking you questions about that story, however, you see him place, he opens a drawer on the underside of the desk, and he places a PM pistol on top of the desk.
Okay. So I see that. I'm going to. Let's see. I stay cool when I'm doing this. Probably gonna be another deception check.
Yes.
Do I get my boost for the Fishman story or no?
You get 1 less boost than the total boost you had. But now it's a difficulty 4 check.
Okay, 4. I think that's worth spending a white point over. To if I spend a white point, what exactly do I upgrade again here?
You can downgrade the difficulty, or you can upgrade your ability. Downgrading the difficulty in this instance would remove one of the purple dice. Upgrading the difficulty is if you have any green dice, one of them will turn into a yellow. If you don't have any green dice, you'll get an extra green die.
Okay, so right now I have 2 green dice. Let's downgrade it by 1.
Right.
It's a bit of a risk, but we'll do that. I'll spend a story point to do so. Okay. And I will use those, I'll use those last 2 advantages to add another blue die to this.
Alright, before you roll,
Oh, you know what? No. Let's use those last 2 advantages. Before I roll, what?
I was going to say, before you roll, I'm going to spend a dark side point to upgrade the difficulty of the check. And what's that going to do here instead is one of those is going to turn into a red.
One of those turns into a red. Okay. So I will I'll use 2 advantages for the extra boost die. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 now. Okay, so with 5 boost dice, the win 2 advantages is I'm gonna play it off as I'm gonna play myself off cool despite the gun table. Like, I'm gonna take notes with gun table, but I'm gonna try to play it off as just I'm having a really bad day.
Yeah.
Way that I have at the end all I had was a boat. Now I don't even have a boat in.
Sure thing.
Oh, ow.
Alright. So there's
Maybe
not a
Kodak-
despair, so they don't immediately shoot you.
They don't immediately shoot me. That's comfort.
Yep.
They would find somewhere nice to execute you.
Alright. So, without spending your advantages, you have no problems telling that the guy doesn't buy your story. And he's probably about to, like, give me a sentiment check, actually. Difficulty 2.
Vigilant?
I'll let you use vigilance, but it'll be difficulty 3 instead, then.
So how do I check sentiment?
Sentiment is a presence skill. No, sentiment is a cunning skill. My bad.
While this is going south, can I move to the officer's bunker?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. What is my cunning?
You have like your codec in your pocket, and you can be like, click, 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 click.
My cunning is my cunning is 2. Okay, difficulty is gonna be 2.
Yes.
2 advantages for blue.
Alright.
Okay.
Take a strain. So now you know he's not gonna immediately shoot you, but he's probably about to like radio in to either to like somebody else in the camp or to somewhere higher, and you're basically probably about to be like shipped out or shipped to a brig or whatever. Basically you're no longer going to be treated as a guest, you're about to be treated as a prisoner unless you do something about it.
Okay. So I'm going to but I need to plan this out. I can actually plan this out. Okay, so he doesn't believe my story at all, does he?
No, not with 3 failures.
Not with 3 failures. Okay, I'm going to try to be. I'm going to go for another. Let's see here. Okay. I'm going to try to charm him by appealing to emotion that I'm obviously not at my best, and I'm not quite well because of the nonsense I've been through for today. So I may come off a bit weird, but I've hit my head several times in a sinking boat and I nearly drowned.
All right,
getting back to land.
so
It's been a bad day.
I'll let you roll the charm check. Sniper Spider and Brawling Grizzly should both be at the officer's door at this point, so you'll be able to hear this going on. After the result of the charm check is rolled, I'll interpret that result, and if you want to interrupt it or do something right after it, you will have the opportunity to do so.
So what's the difficulty?
Cool.
For the charm check, this is going to be difficulty 5 now.
Difficulty 5, okay, 1,
Yep,
2,
and
3,
however
4,
many
5.
boosts you got from your injuries and the like are cut in half.
Okay, spending a story point to upgrade a green to a yellow. Triumphantly? Okay, 4 successes, 3 I will take that as no. Well, yeah. I
Alright.
did get 4 successes.
Go ahead and take 3 strain, as you're like you're more or less actively pleading for your life, unarmed at this point.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah, you basically managed to stave off him calling in. You can tell he's reaching for a radio, but he kind of stopped reaching for the radio to just watch this unfold. Brawling Grizzly and Sniper Spider, do you want to act?
I'd like to knock on the door.
Just casually knock on the door?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to walk up to him and stay crouched down, but I'm going to reach around the corner and just knock, knock. And then I'm going to gesture for Brawling Grizzly to step around me and be ready at the doorway.
I crack my knuckles.
I'm gonna spend a dark story point. Too much Star Wars. Spend a GM story point. There we go. He's gonna call out from his desk, asking who it is.
Housekeeping.
One of you has to
No,
know
I
Spanish.
did not.
One of you has to know Spanish.
Yeah.
Cervetas, queso, grande, español? No. I do not.
I'm gonna get shot here.
Would it be out of the question for a woman to be here on actual military business?
In the 60s.
Cuban Revolutionary Army had women in it.
I think at this particular base, yes, probably. You
Yes, it
you
would be unreasonable.
yes, you wouldn't know that in character, however. So if you want to try I'm a military woman shenanigans, feel free. I will say you haven't seen any women on this island yet other than yourself. and maybe some crocodiles.
Get in there.
Which say?
Just get in there, Grizzly.
Yeah, I mean, if he says nods, then I just rush in the door. And I assume I've got to maneuver. I don't know how far away I am, if I'm in like short range already, or if I'm more like in medium. But I do try and expend as much ability I have to close the distance with them.
Okay.
Oh, actually, sorry. If I turn around the corner, I can't get all the way to them. I'm going to move up to an object that I can huck at them, like a chair or a table or a locker or a whole radio, whatever. If I couldn't get all the way to them.
So I'd say the space is small enough that you just have to spend a maneuver to close to engage with them. However,
However, I am executed on the way. Anyway.
No, what I was going to say is, however, because there's things like the desk and chairs in the way, you have to either spend an athletics check to not have to worry about those, or succeed in an athletics check to not have to worry about those, and it'll be difficulty 3 for the number of objects in the way, or whatever melee stuff you want to do, or whatever any combat stuff you want to do with him, he's going to get extra setback dice for each of the objects in the way as a sort of pseudo cover bonus.
I can make the athletics check on the way in. I think. I don't think. I don't think these tables stand much of a chance of stopping me.
Good. All right. So you're closing them engaged. It is a difficulty 3 athletics check.
Okay.
Can I roll a substance check just to appear shocked and wondering what the heck's going on to the officer so he doesn't suspect me still?
I don't think he's looking at you anymore.
Oh, okay.
1 success, 2 threats.
All right. Take 2 strain as you basically like knee the chairs and stuff out of the way. But you basically get like partially onto the desk, partially around the desk, and you're ready to just go at him. Like you could feel your hands getting around the guy's neck or arms or whichever you want to prefer.
Oh, I'd jump in there and frickin' RKO him to the ground. Yeah, I'm gonna use what is this called? Bull Rush, I think. Well, it's just sort of a general option I have to. I'm gonna make a CQC check after moving to engage, which is what I'm doing. Not terribly important to this thing though.
While
These
this is all
dudes,
happening, I'm just gonna step into the room.
These guys though are becoming suddenly within engaged distance of me. They must make a fear check with difficulty based on my ranks in fearsome, which is 2.
Yeah, I was literally just looking that up.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna pretty much roll straight CQC.
So you are using Bull Rush then? You're not using Takedown?
Well, Bull Rush doesn't seem to actually require me to be intending to do it. It's something I can do with advantage because I move in with momentum, right?
Yeah, well, I'm more asking because Bull Rush is you just do it as part of a CQC check. Same with like Painful Blow. Takedown is its own thing, which is why it has its own results. I'm just clarifying that you're just doing a CQC with Bull Rush rather than Takedown.
No, I'm gonna do takedown, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is brawl versus resilience, which I assume I can CQC as brawl.
Yeah, it's CQC. I just forgot to write CQC instead of brawl.
Cool.
I named him CQC in Grizzly.
Melee attacks difficulty is always 2 or something? No, he's gonna roll his resilience. Never mind. Yeah. 2 successes, 1 advantage.
Wait, but there was no difficulty there.
Yeah, because he rolls resilience against it. Right?
Yes. Because it's an opposed check. Although I think what it's actually supposed to be is when it's an opposed check, their like ranks in whatever the relevant skill is and attribute determines what the difficulty dice pool looks like. But I'm just gonna roll
it's a competitive check where you both roll the same, but it's an opposed check where one person's skills becomes the difficulty for the other person's roll.
Oh, okay. Throw down a couple purple here, or what is it?
I'll let you know in a moment. I am rolling up his fear check.
Right.
Took me a bit to get to that page. You have 2 ranks in Fearsome?
Yep.
Ooh.
So he didn't succeed at not being frightened.
Correct.
And in fact, his sheer terror at it with those 2 threats maybe gives his other ally, who also needs to make a save, a setback, seeing their resolve crumble together.
There is not another person in the room other than him and your buddy at the moment.
Oh, sorry, I think I got the description wrong. I thought there would be like the commander and one other person, but anyway.
No, it's just the officer.
Okay.
But yes, they are like genuinely frozen in fear at the moment. 1 red and 1 purple is the difficulty dice pool you need to roll.
Against his
It's compared. Yeah, it's compared against
my
your
takedown.
takedown.
Yeah. Okay. With a boost because of how scared he is.
Yes.
Okay.
So that'll just leave you with your original 2 successes and 1 advantage.
That has 1 success, 1 failure, 1 advantage, 1 threat. So yeah, so I succeed at my takedown, which per its wording, the target is knocked prone and immobilized until end of my next turn. So I get another chance at pummeling this dude on the ground because I'm holding on to him.
I'm going to close the door, move forward, pick up the pistol.
Who's picking up the pistol?
Spider.
Fine. Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
And then I'm going to point it at the officer and say, Grizzly, give the man a little breathing room and keep the gun trained on the officer.
This reminds me of my time wrestling hogs in the New Mexico desert.
I'm going to start interrogating the officer.
All right. Whoever is leading the interrogation, compare and contrast coercion stuff. I'm pretty sure Brawling Grizzly has the best coercion check here.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah, I'm just going to consider myself an assist with the pistol.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's a way I'm going to be able to hide myself. So, you're going to consider yourself an assist with just a pistol?
I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to stand back and point the pistol and, I figure that would count as a boost on anybody's coercion checks.
So right now, I'm at 2 green. Grizzly, what's your coercion?
It's train or 1 rank, but my willpower is only 1, so it's one yellow.
Brawling Grizzly has...
Oh no, I can use brawn for it. Yeah, I may use brawn instead of willpower. So never mind. That means that it's like 1 yellow, 3 green.
Oh, you know what? I'm not going to, what should we call it? I'm not going to interrogate. I got an idea. I'm going to act as a translator for the crazy military agent that just burst through the door, and I'm still going to keep up the fisherman act.
Okay.
I know it's weird, but trust me.
This is like good cop, bad cop.
I'm going to move the pistol back and forth between the two of them.
Yes,
just further sell it. Okay.
I'm just gonna wait. Yeah, and Grizzly, ask us questions and I will translate. I'm not gonna say that, but oh wait, how do I communicate that then?
Posted the stats for the PM in the private game prep channel. If you
Light
care.
Light pistol, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a light pistol. It's a tiny hand palm sized pistol.
Okay.
I'm gonna
So
ask him if he's familiar with the Oriental practice of yoga.
Alright. Roll me that coercion check. Alright. That is 6 questions you can ask.
The goal of the yoga thing is that if he said no, it would be like, that's a shame, and then bend him over backward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got where that was going.
Okay.
yo sabe English un poco, so I say that to the officer, like, I know a little bit of English. And I'm just gonna panicky look at him, and I'm gonna look at Grizzly, I'm gonna say, what do you want? What do you want?
To me? That's what he said to me?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying to you.
Oh, yeah. That's a deep question. I think the first thing that I want to know is, where else are his forces deployed on this island?
I relay that to the officer.
So he confirms that the tracks do actually lead to like a secondary camp on the island.
Second question. Question the second. What is the purpose of your forces on this island?
They are here to protect the secondary camp. And also to help with any work that the secondary camp might require.
What makes this secondary camp so important?
For that, he says he's not quite certain. There's something big at the secondary camp. He doesn't quite understand it, but his superiors tell him it's important, and that's all he cares about. But like when he says big, it's like you can tell he wants to be like big, like he wants to like gesture to Brawling Grizzly in reference to big. Like it's not just oh hey, there's something really big going on here. It's like there is a physically big thing at the second camp.
I relay this back and forth, and I explain to the crazy individual that's broken through the door. And I'm just gonna complain. I'm in between. I'm just gonna complain to the officer, like, I'm really having a bad day right now, aren't I? Just to help sell the illusion a bit more.
What else do we want to know from this guy? We want to know, how are your alarm systems connected?
In what way? Question. What do you mean connected in what way?
Well, I was hoping he would interpret it and then let out more than he intended. But I'm like trying to ask him, like, can they trigger them from here?
Gotcha.
Or maybe I should just simplify to what alarm systems do you have?
The secondary encampment has its own alarm system that wires to here. We don't have our encampment also has its own alarm system, but ours is just for our alarm, and there's a separate alarm for the secondary encampment that we know when it's triggered. They're expected to radio in to the mainland if there's trouble here.
Okay. More
I
questions?
mean, obviously, I'm gonna. Sorry.
Any more questions you guys like to ask? With that 6.
You got 2 more questions.
I mean, obviously, we want to know exactly where it is, but I'm also kind of curious. Like, I bet you that there's a lot he could tell us about it. I'm just trying to figure out what the question would be, because I'm trying to figure out. It didn't seem that easy to see compared to the other one, so it's concealed in some way, or I'm wondering what its defense is or something. I'm trying to think about the best way to phrase it. I'm open to suggestions.
How, if there's something so big on the island, we didn't see it on our way in?
It's underground.
There you go.
Secretly.
Okay.
Yes, it was right.
And how do we get in?
Yeah, there's a good one.
There's an elevator access towards the center of the island. You can find it by getting to, or by following the truck tracks. That's what the truck tracks are meant to go to.
Boy, this guy really sang like a bird, huh?
He has. And I'm looking at this guy and I'm asking, I'm going to ask him my own little question, not interrogating question, but still off the Shipwreck Fisherman gambit. And it's like, so, I think your career is over.
You want to go home and rethink your life.
No, I'm going to look at him. I'm going to look at the big guy. I'm going to, like, just short big guy. I'm like, I think the career is over because they know everything now. Man, my bad luck's just spreading, isn't it? My bad luck's contagious.
We could tie both of you up together in another room for a little while, and you can interrogate him a second way.
Fire priest.
Actually, we gotta get it out of here because a ton of forces are probably going to descend on us at any moment just by the act of being around.
Yeah.
Then let's get in that truck and drive.
Nice.
I think that's going to be really conspicuous, but yeah.
Nice. Wait, I didn't hear that. My Discord cut out. What just happened?
Go ahead.
I was saying, let's just take the truck. Let's go.
Oh, okay. Did the officer respond to anything else, or did we ask him anything else? Because my cut a little bit.
You get the feeling that he's told you everything that's important to know that he knows.
Okay, how does he respond to my comment that I think my bad luck's contagious?
He's just bewildered at everything at the moment. He's still pretty certain, he's still pretty confident that you're just not a fisherman, but he doesn't really have anything to, like, leverage that in this situation or whichever. Hard to say no to the big unarmed bear guy with somebody else holding a gun at your face.
Yeah. Okay. So there's that.
So, do you subdue him or anything?
I'll let Grizzly do the honors, and I'm just gonna let Grizzly do the honors. I'm just gonna. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna let Grizzly do the honors. Yeah. I think I'm down.
So what about Brawling Grizzly? What do you do?
We don't have to kill this guy for any particular reason, but we just can't have him going and setting off the alarm, can we?
Tie him up. We can tie him up and lock him in a closet.
Tie his shoelaces together.
That too. Tie him up and then tie his shoelaces together.
Locking him up. I just feel like someone's gonna find him in the time that we
And you got
Like,
zip
really?
ties, so that won't help
Yeah,
with
it's gonna be
not
nice.
fighting him. But
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out. I guess my point here is that we actually have to carry him outside of the camp in order for him to not get found or heard, right? Because he could be banging away in a locker in an hour, even if we knock him out. So unless anybody has like a chemical with them that can knock him out for a good amount of time, we either have to.
Wait. Idea.
Yeah.
Is there alcohol in the officers' quarters?
you'd have to give me an investigate check.
And
Yeah, good point.
It'd be difficulty 2.
Sure. I guess I'm just gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna start digging through the drawers. I'm gonna say you have to have another gun in here, right? Or looking for alcohol. It's probably a bad idea, but hey, let's take the shot. Where is investigate? Oh wait, I didn't update this. It's cunning, so it's gonna be 2. What's the difficulty?
2.
2. Okay. So I find the bottle that he has in his desk.
Yep.
I'm like, so I look to the officer. I'm like, well, this wasn't the gun I was hoping for, but at least we'll be able to.
Stretching that charade quite thin at this point.
And I motioned to Grizzly just to knock him out at this point.
Okay,
Like,
sorry. I get him in a good headlock and choke him out.
Right.
okay, taking out the alcohol, spill it all over him, spill it over the desk.
You're gonna light him on fire, right?
No. This way, when he comes out of the closet, we're gonna lock him in the closet. When he wakes up out of the closet, he'll be dismissed as having been drunk.
You think?
It's worth a shot.
Okay.
And we're gonna have the bottle tipped over and spilling a little bit on the desk. And off from the closet. I don't think he'd believe me.
Right.
So
Now what?
now we find now we go to the center. Now we follow those truck tracks to the center of the island. For the elevator. We have to get out of here too.
Yeah, we have to get moving. So speed will be our speed will be important to this next plan.
Okay.
So are you
Does he have-
full
does he have any
boring,
keys?
getting to the truck and driving it away, or are you actually sneaking out, or what?
Speaking out, does he have any keys on him, the officer?
Yes.
Okay, he has keys, and also I'm gonna I'm gonna unbutton his uniform a little bit, make him look a little bit messy.
Okay.
So it really sells the whole impression that he's drunk. Okay. So now that we're done playing Hollywood makeup artist, let's sneak to that truck.
Yeah, we sneak to the truck, but I don't think
Oh,
we
wait.
can sneak once we start driving it.
Yeah. Do you guys have equipment?
You're going.
Yeah. What?
You wanted that stuff?
We threw it in the pond as soon as you left.
Just hand me
Yeah,
back
of course
my
we
stuff, guys.
We do.
Okay.
Yes.
Excellent.
I assume so.
I'm gonna take painkillers.
What?
I'm gonna take painkillers to remove my wounds.
Nice.
Sort yourself out there, dingo.
I'm working on it. Okay, so mechanically I'm healing the wounds. Visually I still probably have them from it.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling the effects at this point. So I got an idea. Let's start a truck as if we're driving out normally. Meanwhile, we should be able from the top of the truck to sight the mine that we set in the tree. Right?
Yeah.
If you shoot that mine, will it go off?
Certainly.
Alright, so I'm gonna need you to do that when we're in that truck, okay?
You got it.
Grizzly, get in the back of the truck. I'm gonna get in the uniform and sit in the truck driving it. I know I don't look like any of the soldiers on this island in particular, if they know each other well enough that they'll know each other by sight, but I'll still have a uniform, so it'll throw off any immediate suspicion. Is that allowed, Avid?
Yeah, sure. There's a spare uniform that you can use in the officer's place.
Yeah. Is it an officer's uniform or a regular?
It's an officer's uniform.
Aces, I will totally take that. Okay.
There isn't
Maybe.
some like King Kong sized manacles in the back of this truck, is there?
No.
Okay.
Okay, so while you're on top of the truck, we're gonna go out as we're on normal patrol. Exit the base normally, and you will then shoot the mine. Okay?
Okay. So I guess it's gonna depend on what range we're at. I imagine, can we pass by it within at least long range to make the shot a little easier for me?
Sure. I'll say it'll be long range.
Okay.
You have one setback that's just from you didn't quite locate it before. But you still have the night vision goggles, so you don't have any setbacks for it being dark out. And then of course you can aim, use the sights and that sort of thing.
Cool. Yeah, I'll take 2 maneuvers to aim then.
Okay.
Can I get a boost because it's a stationary target? It's not trying to not get shot.
If you're doing it while the truck is driving, I was actually going to give you a setback because the truck is moving.
So should I get one of each then?
Sure, why not? Let's throw some chaos in there.
This is a big roll.
You want to upgrade?
No, I think I'll make it.
Okay. Take the shot.
Yep, because I have knack for it. Cancels those 2 black dice. So 2 successes and advantage. I hit that thing. I line up. I'm sitting on the bed of the truck. I cross my legs. I've been sitting here talking with my mic off. I just realized. I'm sitting cross-legged on the bed of the truck, with the rifle in my lap, preparing it, making sure my sights are all attuned. I know where we set the mine up, so I'm waiting as we approach. I lean forward to look for when we're crossing a flat patch of ground, so I'm not going to bounce.
Yep.
And take a second, take another second, take another second, pull the trigger, fire, blows up, obliterates the tree it's on. And it is quite loud.
Yep. So, I would have said that the truck would have, when you turn the truck on, the truck is quite loud, like it sounds like a tractor engine. So that probably would have woken up half the camp. You're driving away, you get actions and stirring from like the guards in the guardhouses. They don't necessarily start shooting at you. They try to react to what you're doing in some form or fashion, however, trying to figure out what's going on, that sort of thing. When you shoot the mine, however, that definitely wakes up the rest of the camp. And you can hear well, you can't hear alarms going off, but you can hear like the rest of the camp is stirring, trying to respond to what you're doing. But you just drive along following the tracks. You find a spot where like the tracks kind of cut through underbrush, and they stop right at a space right before where you guys stopped before earlier to key in at the camp. And you're not necessarily sure how you missed it before, but now you see that there is kind of like a blending into the ground platform with like fake looking rocks at the corners of it and such, large enough to accommodate freight. Like it's large enough to accommodate the truck. but it's like just inconspicuous, or it's just like fake rocks looking enough to where like it could blend in with the ground with satellite photos, or if you're not looking directly at it. But you can see that the truck tracks kind of like dead end suddenly onto this like rocky platform that's sized for the truck.
On the platform.
Like the truck takes the elevator. Is that the idea?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're pretty certain this is the elevator. You're not necessarily certain how to trigger it, but you can tell that this is like the rocky slab that you're driving onto is sized for the truck.
Okay.
I just wanted to check, how much longer are we thinking we're going to go?
There is a good stopping point within like the next 15 minutes. That won't actually finish the mission.
I could do a 2-shot.
Yeah, I'll leave that up to you guys. I know Drainsmith specifically wanted me to make it just a 1-shot. And I think if we'd been a bit more expedient, we could have completed the content in one shot. But that's neither here nor there. So, but that's up to you guys. There's a good stopping point within the next 15 minutes. If we want to, we can stop there.
I'm an hour ahead of you, and I do have to work in the morning, so I would like to do that if you guys are willing to meet up again.
Sure.
Yep. I mean, when do you think? Well, that's a whole other conversation about when, but
Yeah.
Sometime this week, I would imagine.
this week is real bad for me.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'd have to work that out. But I would definitely like to, because I am enjoying some Metal Gear Solid RPG. I
And then,
meant
yeah.
to put stuff in a cardboard box, but I haven't had
We
that.
haven't even flashed away at any of our backstories.
Then we'll go till we hit that stopping point, and then we'll stop there. I definitely think it's a good stopping point considering you guys just alerted the island. So with that said, the truck is on the platform that is probably an elevator. It's not doing anything just yet. It's just sitting there, parked.
Is there like a button, or the control room, something that looks like it operates the elevator?
Give me an investigate check.
I'm
Difficulty
not
3.
terrible. Turns out I'm not terrible at that. Nope.
Not that you can see. Somebody else can roll it though.
Okay, let me give this a shot. For investigation. Just a 2 seconds. Ah, yes, cunning. So that's 2 green and 3 purple. Rolling dice. 1 success and 2 threats.
Alright. You both take a strain as like.
Before I take the strain, I'm quite honestly a lot of strain right now. How about if I find the button and I press it, it sets off like lights for the elevator going down. Wait, no, that'll ruin our stuff. I'll take the strain, never mind.
Okay. You both take a strain from just, you can hear, not necessarily gunfire, but people getting riled up in the distance. Sniper Spider can see that the explosion has riled up the camp, but it's also like split the attention of the camp because the truck went off in one direction, the explosion is in the other direction. Eventually, Praying Dingo, you kick over a rock located nearby as you're looking around, and you find like a concrete square with like elevator controls mounted into it under said rock. And as you hit that, the slab that the truck is sitting on starts descending into the ground. And you all can see that there's like a door, more fake-looking door slab stuff to like cover the hole as the elevator goes down. So you all hop back onto the elevator lift, and it starts lifting down. And it's like the large kind of lift you see in like certain sci-fi movies, where it's like it's at an angle. It's got once you actually get into the shaft itself, it has like railing stuff. You can see down the slope of the shaft and such. There's a point where after the doors close above you, the shaft lighting flicks on. And you can see that this is like poured industrial, really thick concrete. Like this is significantly better concrete than what you would normally find for a bunker. Like this is like higher quality concrete. Really good stuff. And eventually
This
the track
reminds me of the salt mines of New Guinea.
eventually the track gets to a point where like it stops going down at an angle and just starts going straight down. And as it starts going straight down, one of the walls, and this is like at least 50 feet down, probably more, one of the walls gives way to just a window. And on the other side of the window, you can see the interiors of a silo platform with an R-16 ballistic missile inside of it.
Oh, okay. This just became a lot more serious.
With that, I meant to do this earlier once at the start of the actual encampment, stealthing and such, but go ahead and do like your post-scene, like roll cool or discipline to recover strain and stuff, and then we would call things there.
So roll discipline.
Cool. I'm strain free, so.
Okay, 3 successes, 1 advantage. What does that do again?
You heal 4 strain.
I'll totally take that. I am now at 5 strain out of 14. Took a lot of strain this mission. A lot of stress. But bang dingo. Dingo's off.
Does 1 advantage recover strain?
Yes.
Cool. Look out 1 strain.
Alright. So yeah, that will be the end of things for now. What do you guys think? Comments, questions, or concerns?
I am all about anything Metal Gear Solid, so I was enjoying this a lot. I'm curious to see just how much we lean into that in particular.
Yeah, I think that would be my thing. I mean, I love it as well. And I also think like it's just nice to take that in situation and exaggerate it a bit. And in that degree, I feel like the only thing that seemed to like missing is that if there was something that has popped up a little sooner that feels weird, but maybe we just didn't make it as far as we should have.
Yeah, I'm sorry for that little delay. That was not my...
You're fine. I will say I kind of kept like weird elements toned down for this. You didn't really spend as much time fiddling about in like the underbrush or whatever, so I didn't do things like attack you with crabs, which is an encounter I have written for this as a possible rollable thing to run into. This is actually the first time I've ran this where people have run into rolled the crocodiles on the table, so that was interesting to see how that played out. But yeah, I think the more weirder thing is supposed to be on the night of the Bay of Pigs invasion, you guys discover a Russian missile silo on an island off the coast of Cuba.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought this was the Bay of Pigs. I didn't check the date, but that's what I thought it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I find Revolutionary Cuba interesting. I find Metal Gear Solid interesting. I liked the Camp Alpha as the obvious reference to Camp Omega.
Hmm.
I don't know anything about MGS, but I still enjoyed the game, and we carried it out fairly well. We have a good cohesion between us. That's good. Sometimes parties don't have chemistry, but we had a good chemistry here, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah, agreed.
I
I
do
wonder
like.
if the base commander is my mother.
I'm not sure if he's in character right now, and that worries me. And with that, I will have to bid you all adieu. Thank you, Avid, so much for hosting.
Yeah, no
Really
problem.
appreciate it.
I really like the idea of Drainsmith put forth of community one-shots. I think it'll be more up to Drainsmith if I run this again, or run like the second half of this. Second half,
Okay.
more like second, third. Um,
I suppose, yeah, if there was a time that you're available, but then there's like other players who haven't started up yet, and there's an opportunity to just like run more stuff for more people, right? Rather than continue for us.
And I'm being a dingbat, wanting to run the second one after the success of Super Bargain Mart. Well, success, meaning that I actually pulled it off. That's
Yeah.
a fun one. Did you guys watch that one?
What was it?
The second community live play? The one
I
that
meant
was-
to. I
Yeah.
saw all the hype stuff you were doing for it, but that was in the middle of me like crossing state lines and such when that happened to move for my new job.
It's on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, I did catch that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that, like I said, it'll be up to Drainsmith if because he just wants it to be one shots. I know that I'm like on the tail end of people who are running one shots just because I was way out there in the time frame. I know I don't want to run anything over Independence Day weekend, so that's just automatically out.
Oh yeah, no, I don't blame you. It's
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm going on a road trip this week, so that's where I'm suddenly just like not available throughout pretty much
Yeah.
the rest of this week and into next.
Yeah,
Yeah,
then we can aim for a time next week, right? Or something like that. Maybe in 2 weeks. That's who hasn't waited 2 weeks to do a session.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, we'll have
Yeah.
to see where things land. I'll ask Drainsmith about it if he wants to host it, if he wants to allow me to host it on here, or if I should just do it privately. If he wants me to do it privately, that'll be a coin flip. But if I do wind up doing it privately, I'll just post adding you guys in looking for game, saying, hey, if you want to continue, this is the place we can do it at.
sounds good.
okay. Aces, fantastic. Once again, thank you for running. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun, folks, and you all have yourselves a good evening.
Same to you guys. Thanks for playing.